Oh, yeah. Step back, wanna get yourself there. Do it one time. Well, hello, TROUBLE. How are you doing? It's Untethered Live on a Wednesday night, hump day. I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and tonight we're going to talk about possession and how it's 9/10 of the law, and we're going to go over some Jamology. See if we can figure out what jamming's all about. Patty Donahue's first in chat. I think, yep, you get the gold star, Patty. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Amanda says, hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see you all. Happy hump day, Camel. Hi, Jake. How are you tonight? Full. I ate a big old pork chop, mashed potatoes and gravy and corn and cornbread. Corn and cornbread. One's made out of wheat, the other's made out of corn. And then there was pork chop. Delicious. I'm so full I could roll over. Patty says, hello. Bill Bennett says, hello all. I hope everyone is having a great day. Hey, Bill. Hey, Patty. And Amanda says, oh, yeah, can you dig it? Yeah. Shaft. Who's the man with the master plan? Shaft. You know who it is. Amanda says, Patty, here's your gold star. And hi, Patty. And hi, Bill. And Patty says, what? Hello? Says Bill. And Amanda says, LOL, Jake, you changed the intro comments just to mess with me. What's my intro? I'll change it if I want to. Patty says, thank you. I'm doing very well. That's fantastic to hear. I have a nice hot cup of coffee, and I'm doing very well also. Don't you want to have a cup of coffee with me and talk about the world? If so, go to the kitchen, pour yourself a nice hot cup, and let's get this party rolling. If you don't have a cup, you can get one in the description below. I recommend the first one. It has my face on it. It is fantastic. Also makes a great Christmas present, and you got just about enough time to get one for Christmas if you do it now. So I recommend that. It also holds leftist tears very nicely if you're into that kind of thing. Damn a tumbler. This is a real coffee cup, baby. A nice one. A big one. A well-made, well-crafted, hand-painted one. I don't know if it's hand-painted, but that sounds good anyway. Also, like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box if you'd like to show a little love, tip the musician or whatnot. I'd appreciate that very much. Also, hit that Cash App, $ Jake Johnson Band. I appreciate that very much. On with the show. How's everybody doing? Are you ready for Christmas? We've got 6 days to Christmas. And your true love said to you, you're gonna go broke, so have yourself an old yoo-hoo or something. Patty says, Amanda says, full, fat, and sassy. Yep, that's me. Full, fat, and sassy. And full. Did I mention I was full? I'm full. Tums. No, it's delicious. Probably one of the best meals I've had in a while. I have meals now. That's crazy. Last year, I would be lucky to get a hot dog. This year, full meal, full spread. I love it. Moving up in the world. Yes, YouTube has been kind to me. But the Lord has been kinder, so I'd appreciate it. Bill says, I will send some support as soon as I'm able. Thank you for what you're doing, and I love the Bible studies. Well, Bill, that's between you and God. I'm just a middleman, and I appreciate that. But don't sweat it if you can't. That's fine, too. Amanda says, I try to spoil you with good groceries. I need it. I need some good spoiling. And loving every minute of it. There was a few years there it was questionable. So, thank you. Thank you for that. And I like the Bible studies too, Bill. They're as helpful for me as they are for you, I'm sure. So what are you guys doing for Christmas? Are y'all getting together with family? Or are you going to be mano a mano in it? What's happening? I think I'm going to do a small thing. Bill Bennett says TV dinners and ramen noodles. Hey, I've been there, buddy. I've been Kraft macaroni and cheese broke. I've been Kraft macaroni without the cheese broke. And Amanda says, you're welcome and you deserve it. You work hard. Thank you. I try to stay busy. Sometimes it gets the better of me, though. But as long as you got a schedule, you got somewhere to be. So you have to be on the move. You can't wait. That's the way it needs to be. And if I could cram some more stuff into a day, I would. But I'm not convinced that's healthy. I think you need downtime. Some people do. I don't know if everybody does, but I think some people need downtime. I think I need downtime, which I'm not seeing any in the near future, so. Never mind the mule, just load the wagon, but still. Bill says, I was talking about your bachelor days. Me, I live off Jack's Pizzas, LOL. Oh, yeah. Believe me, I have been there. There have been weeks where I had hot dogs and ramen noodles. That's what I had. Oh, Patty says, my son and myself, dinner ordered from Food City. Nice. Is that what you're going to do for Christmas? Is that what you're saying, or is that what you're doing tonight? Because I think what we're going to do is just have a dinner and chill. Maybe watch a movie or something. Probably go over to my sister's house and eat dinner with them and then come home and watch a movie. Turkey Christmas. Oh, I hear you. Turkey's always good. 2 days, Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's the time for turkey. The rest of the year, you eat leftover turkey. Because nobody eats the whole turkey. And if they do, you got a big family. Patty says, tonight I'm with y'all. Well, I'm with you too, Patty. Believe that. 100%. And there's 5 people in chat and only 2 likes. Somebody didn't press their like button. Go ahead and tickle that like button. It is important. It helps us get recommended. Patty says, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Oh. Thought we'd try something different tonight. How you like that? That's a little on the nose, ain't it? Amanda says, and on New Year's, black-eyed peas, collards, and fried cornbread with ham. Well, everything but the black-eyed peas. I prefer purple whole peas, thank you. Fab Daddy says, present with coffee in hand. Hey, Fab Daddy, good to see you, my brother. Nice of you to join us in on a Wednesday, on your favorite day, hump day. It's a pretty day today. It's a little rainy. It didn't actually rain, but it felt like it was going to all day, so that's something. Hologram style, that's right. Floating in the ether. Fab Daddy says, yeah. Amanda says, no drones in that picture, LOL. No drones, right? Everybody has been talking about them drones in New Jersey, like, fanatically. And I've heard the gambit from aliens to nuclear weapons. So all I can tell you is that the government has come out and said, in more than one way, that they are looking for a missing nuclear weapon that disappeared from Syria or somewhere like that. Or maybe it was Ukraine, who knows. But anyway, it vanished, and they don't know where it is. But there's good authority that suggests it might be here. So that's what the drones are doing. They're looking for gamma radiation. And all I've got to say about that is all those thousands of people who jumped straight to aliens all ought to feel stupid right now. I told you, it's Occam's razor. What's most likely true is the simplest answer. And the simplest answer is, if there's a thing in the sky, we put it there. We as in people. I don't know which people, but people put it there. Ain't aliens. Also, if aliens can get here from another galaxy in their lifetime, having solved all the problems it takes to get here, because if you think about this logically, their planet, if they're an alien species out there, their planet has to solve all the planet's problems and be working together globally and in unison in order to build a starship, because we know how hard that is. You'd have to mine all the ore, have the best technology, have the best workmanship, the best craftsmanship, the best scientists. All of the whole planet would have to be involved. All of the money would have to be involved because it's very expensive to produce things like a starship. And so they build one that can make it across the universe, the closest one being 4.7 billion light years away. My tape measure doesn't go that far. I don't know how they got that measurement, but that's what they say, 4.7 billion light years to Andromeda, which is the closest galaxy to us. Alpha Centauri, rather, not Andromeda, Alpha Centauri. Andromeda being the next closest. That would be more than a lifetime of travel. So if they could make it here and say a generational ship, so the grandparents leave and the great-grandparents leave and the great-grandchildren arrive. Plus, they didn't know we were here to start with because we could see them if they could see us. That's how vision works. And so they would have to pick a direction out of space to go in. And they picked this direction just by happenstance. And they made it this far out of all the things they had to do to get here. And you're telling me they can't drive because they're always crashing, right? And also, why would we assume that an alien race would come to this planet and immediately go to Washington, D.C. or something like that? That's hubris at its finest. How do we know they wouldn't think that ants are the dominant life form on this planet, since they outnumber us by about 10 to 1? Or might think cars are the dominant life form on this planet, being they're the most visible thing to see moving around. But we think they'll go straight to our biggest city and actually understand the hierarchy of our society. I would say no more than you understand an ant colony when you look at it. Who's who and which are the worker ants, which is the queen, where are they going, what are they doing? You don't know, and neither would they. We would be an observation just like us looking at chimpanzees. We wouldn't have a clue what their social structure is. It'd take us many, many years to learn that stuff. So I'm guessing it's probably Chinese. Be a lot simpler, wouldn't you think? You tell me. Patty says, Diddy diversion, right? Amanda says, how do you randomly lose a nuclear weapon? Well, there's a lot of money involved. Fab Daddy says, the aliens stole the nuke, right? Bill Bennett says, had them over right past Dayton, Ohio recently. It's our government or China, LOL. It's one or the other. Absolutely. Patty says, they have ramped up airline safety. Better have P and Q going to fly. P and Q. Is that an insurance company? Patty says, Tennessee hunters are waiting for aliens, right? Bugs Buggies, what's up, my brother? He says, bro, what's up? Waycross, Georgia in the house. Waycross, Sandersville, Georgia in the house. How about that? And Amanda says, LOL, your background ate your microphone stand, and now it looks like it's floating in the air. Is that better? I'm attached to the drone over there. Over there. Patty says, it wasn't just celebrities at Diddy's party. Oh, I believe that. Amanda says, hi, Bucks. Bucks Buggy says, hey, Amanda, love. Amanda says, it was cool looking. Right on. I enjoy it. I thought this would be a little nice change of pace. Have me tiny for once. And have something actually worth looking at in the background. Space may be the final destination, but it's filmed in a Hollywood basement. Whatever. Who knows? I thought his mic stand looked like International Space Station, says Fab Daddy. Right? Buck says, I bought me a 1991 Nissan Hardbody. Now I can stay out of the rain. I hear you, buddy. I bought me a 1999 Eddie Bauer edition Ford Explorer so I could stay out of the rain and the cold. So you and I are on the same wavelength. Amanda says, right, Fab Daddy? International Space Station. This is the arm of the International Space Station. Holding my microphone, and while I float in space. And I'm sitting on a drone. Starlink mic. That's right. Hell, while we're daydreaming, might as well be attached to the Enterprise. Interesting. NCC 1701, that's correct. Which one? I prefer A, NCC 1701-A. Fab Daddy says, I got to enjoy the company of my adult son for the last week. That's fantastic, Fab Daddy. You guys do a lot of cool stuff together. Buck says, speaking of International Space Station, I'm from Tampa, Florida. I lived in Lakeland, Florida for 13 years. Amanda says, live long and prosper. And Amanda's from Lakeland. That's a good cup of coffee. Short as it may be. Delicious. Look at that sun. Look at that curve of that earth. Oh, wait, it's going backwards. Hold on. Straighten up, camera. There you go. Now look at the curve of that earth. Isn't that beautiful? That's cool, Buck. So you know all about Ybor City and all that goes on there, don't you? I know a little bit about Ybor City. I know where you go to get the good stuff. What? Nothing. Forget I said anything. Ybor City, the place where you can get high. Sorry. So are you gonna be a summer rider, Bucks? That's what I'm planning on doing. Riding in the summertime. Just getting cold and getting out there on the icy roads on a Harley is not for me anymore. I'm too old. Amanda says, yep, I was born in Rock Ridge, Florida, moved to Lakeland when I was 10 months old, and just moved to North Carolina. Right on. Where's Rockledge? I thought you were born in Marietta or one of those island places. Buck says, yep, I used to wear the uniform. Right on. You also know about highlight, don't you? I've mentioned this sport to a few people, and I think I may have dreamed it because I've never met anybody else that even heard that word before, let alone knows what I'm talking about. But I believe if you're from a certain part of Florida, you know what highlight is. Clean up after the parties. Right on, Bucks. Merritt Island, Cocoa Beach. That's the one. That's where I thought you were born at. Buck says, nope, I'm a Viking. I'll ride. Right on. Well, I did for many years ride rain, sleet, snow, or hail, like the post office in the old days. Didn't matter how cold it was. Didn't matter how wet it was or how dangerous it was. I was out there on my bike. But as I get closer to the 100-year mark, and I'm about halfway now, I start valuing the lack of pain in my fingers and, general limberness. So I've decided to ride during the winter in my truck and ride on my motorcycle in the summer when it's nice and warm. The little town in Merritt Island called Rockledge, like Lakeland and Kathleen. Got it. Katha by God lean. I used to live there too. It's Kathleen everywhere else in the world, but it's Kathleen there. Kathleen. Like gasoline with a lisp. Kathleen. Interesting. Words. If you go to Georgia, the word Houston becomes Houston, and the word Martinez becomes Martinez. Interesting. It's clean now. Really? They call it clean? Not Kayleen or nothing like that? Just clean. That sounds retarded. Meth is really working on them people. Sunspot. Duck. See it? It's right there. Sunspot. Fab Daddy says St. Helena or St. Helena. Right on. Buck says, my Kawasaki Ninja has been on point. I love that thing. I had a Honda Interceptor one time. I nearly killed myself on it. I swore I would never ride one of those things again. But I did like it. It's kind of like a Ninja. Patty says, no more riding for me. I'm nursing my son back to health after a spill on his Softail. Oh, no. Is he okay? Did he hurt anything seriously? You got to be really careful on them Softails. Them things are not stable. They're made for cruising. Oh, he's okay? Excellent. That's worrisome, man. I tell everybody that rides with me that the chances are not zero that you won't crawl off of this thing. You know, you got to be aware if you're going to get on a motorcycle, there's a possibility we're going to hit the ground. And it ain't got nothing to do with experience or ridership or anything like that. It's just, it happens. I think the worst mistake you can make on a motorcycle is assuming that you have it under control. Because you don't. You're a passenger. C3 through C6 fusion. That's down low, right? Or is that in the neck? I always get those confused. L is low, C is high. Got it. And T is in the middle, I think. I think that's how it works. And T3 is the best of the franchise. No, it's T2, definitely. Fab Daddy says, better the ground than a car that pulls out in front of you. Well, this is true. That I can pretty much limit to about 10%. Because I'm a pretty skilled driver and I've been doing it a long time. And, you know, if you watch what you're doing, you're paying attention, chances are that's not going to happen. Especially if you take precautions like switching into the proper lane and not riding where you can be in a blind spot where a car could go by and another car could pull out right into you, which could happen easily. You stay in the lane closest so that you can see what's coming out in front of you. Things like that will lessen your chances. But still, there's a 10% chance no matter what you do. But if I'm going to fall, chances are I'm going to hit the ground and I'll be the only one involved. Like a spill, like a wheel sliding out from under you, or a deer or something like that. Ain't much you can do about those kind of things. But I try very hard not to get in that situation. Come back up here so you can see my face. I didn't realize there were texts on that image. I'm going to cut that out. Puck says her first time on a bike, and she drove it like a boss. Awesome. Who is she? I must have missed one. Patty says, I love a 30 years. Killed Panama City, Florida, 2019, July 4th. Damn. I'm sorry to hear that, Patty. That's a dangerous life we live. He was killed on a Harley. Got to be careful out there. That's one of the reasons I bought my truck, because I'm getting old and I'm not as quick as I used to be and things like that. Not that I ever was quick enough to avoid anything like that, but you know. Fab Daddy says, I commuted on a very curvy mountain every day. That road killed many a motorcyclist. Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Or I know one like the one you're talking about. The one that's one lane all the way down, and there's little pull-offs every so often that you can pull off the road if you can. Buck says, I think they call it the Razorback or the Switchback or something like that. Buck says, I'll take the ground over a car any day, right? I've been fortunate enough not to be in an actual wreck before, but I've hit the ground a couple times. I hit the ground so hard a couple years back, I was in traction for like a month. And I had to learn how to use my fingers all over again. I mean, I hit face first at about 35 miles an hour, went over the handlebars, over the windshield, and face planted like a whip. Pow! Right into the dirt. All because the road went out from under me. It was a dark, rainy night, and there was no lines on the road, and the road had a real sharp curve in it, and I didn't see it. That was that. I did miss one. I apologize. That does happen. And also, sometimes YouTube will pull comments, and they won't make it to me, and I don't know why they do that. They seem to be at random. Sometimes it's about violence, and sometimes it's just a random statement that doesn't come through. I'm not saying that happened this time, but it has happened before. Patty says, my son is doing PTOT for hands and walking. Yeah, that whiplash ain't no joke. Goyam says, hey, Goyam, well, guess who owns YouTube? I don't know. The Jews? I'm just guessing, judging by the name. How are you? Who are you? And welcome to the show. Buck says, put my girlfriend on the bike for the first time and she drove it like a boss. Go, Buck's girlfriend. That's awesome. Amanda says, hi, Goyam, welcome. Patty says, who? Goyam, which is, Yiddish for dirty white person. By the way, if you guys hadn't checked out our Facebook page, it's facebook.com/UntetheredLive family, all one word. The link is in the chat. It's a great place to keep up with each other outside of the show and get to know one another, share videos, texts, and chats, and also keep up with everything Untethered Live Universe all in one place. It's facebook.com/UntetheredLive family. Go check it out. You won't regret it, and I appreciate it. Goyam says they got long noses and did 9/11. Well, I'd have to see proof of that. That sounds like a conspiracy theory to me. My guess is they probably just trying to get by like everybody else. But they are really smart, which lends them to certain criteria, certain things that they can do really well. And they end up doing those jobs really well. Also, that's where they live, where all that stuff happens. So, that's probably what it is. I don't know if the clean break report is a conspiracy theory, sir. Well, it sounds like one. And Patty says, why, yeah. Right on. It sounds like one. Like I said, I'd like to see some proof. But I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it a bit. They are grubby. Well, it's an official report on Wikipedia. Wikipedia is itself a conspiracy theory. Bill Bennett says, I think in the very near future, we're not going to be able to tell what's real or fake. Good thing we have the Lord to show us the light. Jake, did you wrench a bike, as they were saying? Did you wreck a bike, as they were saying? Yes, I did. I didn't hit a car, but I did hit a ditch and went off of it. Goyam says, on what's been happening in the Middle East. Well, what's been happening in the Middle East was foretold 4,000 years ago in a book. You should probably read it. It's called the Bible. Check it out. And it's happening in front of your eyes as it was written. So you should check that out. Since you're a Goyam, you should have access to one of those King James Version types. Or are you just caught up on the fact that I know what a Goyam is? I prefer the New Testament over the Jewish law. Well, the New Testament can't exist without the Jewish law. You should probably read the New Testament, especially the part where it says, I did not come to change one jot or tittle of the law, but to fulfill it. And that came out of Jesus Christ's mouth, meaning everything in the Old Testament still applies in the New Testament. It always has, always will. That's a myth that it is done away with. Buck says, can you play Thank God for My Girlfriend? I don't know that one, but thank God for your girlfriend. Walter Davis, what's up, brother? He says, good evening, everybody. Dallas, welcome back. He says, time diddling. Right on. Buck says, Jackie. Hey, Jackie, thank God for you. And Amanda says, hey, Walter. Fab Daddy says, hey, Walter. And Amanda says, hi, Dallas. Dallas packed her suitcase and drove off in the brand new car I bought her. Nice song. Patty says, there's a newsman on Fox with a big head and a little body. He's not real. Not having to pay him. He ain't real. Really? On Fox News? They've already started using AI? Interesting. Fab Daddy says 1-137. Why? I don't know what that is. 1 divided by 137? What is that? And that's a slash, not a dash. Sorry. Because one wanted to, I guess. To get to the other side, I don't know. What was the riddle? Patty says, every time I see him, I laugh my hind end off. I haven't seen him yet. I got to check that out. A not real person with a big head and a little body. Fab Daddy says, it's a math thing. Must be. Is that the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio? What are we talking about? Dallas says, what happens if there are pyramids right besides or under the battle in the wars? Oh, they get demolished, I would imagine. Interesting, though, the word pyramid. You ever think about what that means? What that word means? Pyro means fire, and mid means middle area. So fire in the midst. Patty says, you can tell. Right on. Walter Davis says, hi, Jake, Fab, Patty, Buck, Dallas, Goyam, and Amanda. And Dallas says, thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure, Dallas. It's interesting. I think about things like that because words have meanings and they've been here for a long time. So those meanings come from something. There's a reason something was called a thing. And the word pyramid just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb to me. Because it doesn't look like it does anything. But it did. It did at one time. And Patty says, yes. Right on. So, Dallas, if there's a war going on and they go by where the pyramids are, they will not let up just because there's ancient things there. They will go right through it. And the reason I know that is because it's already happened when Napoleon marched through there. They were shooting pot shots at the nose on the Sphinx. That's why it's broke off. Cannon fire. And also in Germany, they demolished a lot of stuff that was very ancient during those battles. And in England and over in the Middle East, they were blowing up ancient monuments just to get rid of them. Things that are irreplaceable, things that have been here for thousands of years, just gone. We have some pictures of them, thankfully, but they don't exist anymore. Buck says, can you pick a song to play for Jackie? Yes. Yes, I can. What do you want, like a love song? Or a congratulatory song? What do you want? I love her, says Bucks. Bucks, I'll do one just for you and Jackie. If my voice will hold out. Is Jackie listening? On my 5-string guitar, dancing in the dark, your love, it's your love. There you go, just for you and Jackie. Dallas packed a suitcase and rode off in the brand new car I bought her. She made leaving me look easy. I wish she'd made it look a little harder. Well, I took her out of Texas. She was just a girl. But old Tennessee and me couldn't take Texas out of her. Oh, how I wish Dallas was in Tennessee. I can move Texas east, then she'd be here with me. Then nothing else could come between the two of us. If Dallas was in Tennessee. There you go. So I got you and Dallas. That's it. I can't do more singing right now. My voice just ain't in it tonight. What I miss? Fab Daddy says, it's a mad thing. I read that one. And I read that one. And that one. And that one. And that one. And that one. Oh, okay. I'm where I'm supposed to be now. You got them there eyes to see, says Patty. Yes, I do. I know a lot of things I don't share on this podcast yet. I got to get through the second run through the Bible before I start sharing the real deep stuff. But I will share it, I promise. You hang in there with me. We're going to learn some stuff together. I'm going to peel back the layers of this onion so fine that your eyes will water from where you are. Promise. Buck says, I read that one. Amanda says, Buck, he could play Elizabeth for her. That's not a love song. That's a love gone bad song. And Buck says, yes, but I'll play it for you. And Walter says, in WW2, Germany used ancient buildings as ammo dumps, thinking allies would not destroy them. He was wrong, right? And Dallas says, the pyramid is a hydrogen generator that has a torch tip for burning sex traffickers in the war with Vikings. That's a good one. Could be. Patty says, bravo. Bill Bennett says, ISIS destroyed lots of Christian relics. Yes, they did. That's what I was referring to. Patty says, bravo. Thank you, Patty. Linda Davis, hello, darling. She says, I'm sneaking in late tonight. That's all right. I had a busy house today. I don't know what I would do without my kids. Amen, sister. My nose is itching. Amanda says, hi, Linda, hon. And Linda says, hey, Amanda. And Dallas says, hey, no hard feelings for Vikings, just a device and intended for defense for sex trafficking. Hey, whatever, man. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm generally against trafficking sex of any age or persuasion. This song is a song off of my album, which is the link at the top of the chat there. It's pinned. It's yours. Go download it. Hit that link and go download my album absolutely free. The only thing I ask in return is that you share it with somebody else. And this is one of the songs on that album. I hope you enjoy. Oh, yeah. Moonlit skies and fireworks. People laugh, people flirt all night long. But I just stay. So I drove down to the local bar where people come in their fancy cars and play their games. But I just stare. Then I saw you sitting there, all alone in that empty chair right next to you. I fell in love, oh baby. Boy, I hope you understand that I'm not a girl that needs a man. I got my life and all my plans, and if you were there, you'd just be in my way. And girl, it ain't gotta be like this. I'd give you everything with just one kiss. I don't care what you say, I fell in love with you anyway. Oh, Elizabeth, you take my breath away. Oh yeah. At that bar where we first met, you smiled at me and my palms got wet, and you just looked away. But I just stayed. You said, been in love and it never works. I always end up getting hurt, and I ain't doing that no more. There ain't no way, oh no, 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 no. You stood up to say goodbye, grabbed your hand with a tear in my eye, and I just walked away. But you just stayed. But you looked down and you took my hand and said, boy, I hope you understand that I'm not a girl that needs a man. I've got my life and all my plans, and if you were there, you'd just be in my way. And girl, it ain't gotta be like this. I'd give you everything but just one kiss, and I don't care what you say, I fell in love with you anyway. Oh, Elizabeth, you take my breath away. All right, how about that? There's a little Elizabeth for you. All right. Dallas says, Tayanasha no Karosha, or live long and prosper. Nice. Amanda says, oh, no, no, no. I had to put my sunglasses on for that. It's so cool. Linda says, oh, no, 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 no. Got it. Close. Amanda says, LOL, Linda. And Jake's cooling it. I'm doing something, man. I'm trying to stay busy. I don't know what to do with my hands. Linda says, I love you, Amanda. Oh, Colin Hill. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Amanda says, you too, Linda. Love you too. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Colin says, I worked today. So did I, Colin. I'm still working today. Amanda says, hi, Colin. And Colin says, I got about 160 pounds of scrap. Good boy. Get that money. Make that money. And Walter Davis says, hi, Linda, and hi, Colin. Colin says, and about 75% antiques. Antique scraps. Interesting. Linda says, hello, Walter. Patty says, $1 million song. Peace. Thank you, dear. I appreciate the confidence. I hope so. Can you play a Christmas song, says Walter Davis. Why, yes. Yes, I can. Merry Christmas, everybody. Yes, that is me. Oh, yeah. Christ our Savior is born. Christ our Savior is born. There you go. Christmas song just for you guys. Walter says, you know Chuck Berry, Run, Run, Rudolph? I do not. I know my ding-a-ling, though. Like the back of my hand. And the front of it. Anyway, Bill Bennett says, great job, Brother Jake. Thank you, Bill. God bless you, sir. Patty says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, too. Amanda says, Merry Christmas, Jake. Merry Christmas to you, too. And Patty says, wow. Colin says, I worked at a family-owned antique shop. Nice. Walter says, thanks, Jake. You're welcome, Walter. You're welcome, Walter. Awesome, Jake. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, Linda. And a Happy New Year. Patty says, Chuck Berry. Hmm. There we go. Great footwork, says Patty. Thank you. Interesting note. I recorded both of those songs while I had COVID-19. That's why they sound so low. Can you scoot across the stage? Yes, ma'am. I can do the full Chuck Berry. I can also do the thing where you slide across on your knees, although it's been a while since I've done that one. I'm not 25 anymore. In fact, the last time I did it, I set up this thing where I was going to run and jump off of the stage and fly through the air and land on my knees like Footloose and rock out. And I did that. Jumped through it, flew through the air and landed on my knees and rocked out. And everybody thought that I fell. So apparently it wasn't as cool as I thought it was in my head. So I never did that again. Amanda says, LOL, I'd like to see that one. It would take you an hour to get up. Yeah, probably so. Bill says the recorder and the skin flute is the only instruments I've ever played. Oh, I forgot percussion in the 7th grade. I was never any good, and I can't read music. Well, I can't read music, and I've never been any good either, but that's never stopped me, Bill. I made a career out of it, so. Patty says, too funny, right? Dallas says, maybe it's a teleporter. Maybe. Walter Davis says, can you do Chuck Berry like on Back to the Future? Yes. Yes, I can. And I even got the big fat guitar to play with the holes in it, you know, the F holes. Hollow body guitar. So I can even do that part. And I've only got 5 strings on this guitar, but, you know, I would play some Chuck Berry, but it requires all the strings. But I could do, back up in the woods close to New Orleans, a living old boy called the Evergreen. They tried to pet the bear, they put the well, but they can play the guitar like I'm ringing a bell. Read or write so well, but they can go, Jake, go, I said go, Jake, go, I said go. Jake, go. I said go. Go, Jake, go. I said go. Jake it be good. There you go. A little Chuck Berry. C'est la vie, say the old folks. You know you can't ever tell. Yep, it's kind of hard to do with an acoustic guitar, but I can do it. I can pull it off. I have pulled it off before. I like Chuck Berry, though. I think he's a great guitar player. Very underestimated. Guy pulled off some licks back in the day. And if you know anything about Chuck Berry, he would go from town to town, and instead of bringing a band on the road with him, he would just hire the local band that was there. So nobody ever knew his music. He just was that good. He pulled it off. Ever heard the Johnny B. Good version that sends him to Vietnam? I don't think so. I don't think I've heard that one. I'm trying to remember the song that was in Back to the Future, the Chuck Berry song. But I can't. I don't think it was Johnny B. Good, was it? It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Turn my noise suppressor back on. Okay, Jesus. There. Are you happy? You can't hear my computer and my wheezing? You're welcome. My pleasure.
VJ, now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Oh, yeah.
If I die before I wake, VJ, my best friend, right through it all, VJ. If I die before I wake, VJ.
All right, enough of that. Okay, so the last verse, Johnny got a call from Uncle Sam, said he needed him in Vietnam. Johnny's still there today. Go, 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 Johnny, go, go. Go fight Charlie, go. Something. I've never heard it, but that's interesting. I'll have to check that out. An alternate ending to a song from the 50s. Very interesting. Apparently, old Chucky was quite the ladies' man. He got in trouble for filming women in his bathroom in one of his restaurants a while back. I think he went to jail for it, actually. I might have the facts wrong on that one, but I'm sure he got in trouble for it. But I don't know if he actually went to jail, but I think he did. My daughter's Christmas band concert is tomorrow. Then the kids are done with school Friday until January 3rd, says Linda. I would love to see your kids' band concert. If you get video of it, send me a clip. I'll put it on the show. Brag about your youngins. If you're into that kind of thing. You don't have to. But I'm just telling you the option is yours. Whipmaster Hart, long time no see, buddy. He says, how's it hanging? Hey, buddy. Merry Christmas. Patty says, ever notice how much Bob Wills and Mick Jagger's moves on stage are alike? I have not, but I will look into that. They might be the same person. Amanda says, hi, Whipmaster. Where you been, buddy? I hadn't seen you in forever. It's been forever, man. I will check that out. That's interesting, too. Bob Wills and Mick Jagger. Maybe he's working on his night moves. Whipmaster says, I've been doing night shift, y'all. I hear you, man. That's a hard shift to pull. I don't like doing night shift. When I was younger, I liked it, but I value my nights now. Are you prepared for Christmas? Do you have everything done? 6 days to go, buddy. The countdown has begun. There's a song called Night Shift? Probably. I think I've played that song before. Nope. The song I played was Shift Work. That's it. You think Mick liked Bob Wills? Probably. I mean, he was into some eclectic stuff. He liked Muddy Waters, of all bands. That's some of their biggest influence was Muddy Waters. And when they first got to America, they made a beeline for Chicago and went to see Muddy Waters. Whipmaster says, some fella told me I was young and ought to be able to handle it. And I told him, heck, I'm old, LOL. Right? Bill says, Mr. Banker, when I went home to show them they were wrong, all that I found was 2 tombstones. Somebody tell me, please, was I right or wrong? First I got lost, then I got found. Interesting. Patty says, there's going to be some sweet sounds coming down on night shift. Right on. You going to be rocking out? You going to work all night listening to the radio? Bill says, but the ones I loved are in the ground. Have you checked that one out yet? I told you as soon as I got a chance, I would check it out. I don't get a day off until Saturday. When I get there, I will listen to... I've already listened to Daddy Frank last Saturday, but I'll listen to... Bury My Papa For Me, Leonard Skinner, Mr. Banker, and Pusher Man by Steppenwolf, which is written down. As soon as I get a chance, I will listen to those songs. But I've been going nonstop since the last time we talked about it. Very little sleep in between. Just so you know. Linda Davis says, I recorded some of her concert last year to send it to Walter the last few years. Aw. Well, send it to me. I'll post it. And then everybody can see it. If you want it public. I imagine there'll be a lot of children there. Just don't point out which one's yours. Or do. However you want to do it. You just send me an email. If you want it to be celebrated, you send it to me in an email and I'll do it. Just put whatever instructions you want on it. Patty says, not me, buddy. Not you. Not working night shift. Whipmaster Hart says, how about all the misfits in the sky, Mr. Jake? How about all the mischief in the sky, Mr. Jake? All the heathens are worried. Yeah, they should be. Oh, yeah, Pusher, says Patty. Yep, I wrote it down. As soon as I get a chance to, I'm going to listen to it. Bill says, you're the man. And Linda says, she is a cute little redhead. Oh, I bet she is. My mama was a redhead, by the way. I don't know if you could tell. Bill says, Whipmaster, how you come up with that name? Whipmaster Hart. And by the way, Whipmaster Hart, I think all the mischief in the sky is either us or China looking for nuclear weapons that are hidden in America somewhere. That's what it is. It's not aliens. It's not angels. It's drones, and we made them. We meaning people. I don't know which people, but we made them. Walter says, I was at the chorus concert the last few years. Hair Metal, $27.99. Thank you, Hair Metal. I'll take it. Cash App is $ Jake Johnson Band, $27.99. I'll hold you to it. Whipmaster Hart says, LOL. I was a wheelman in my day. My buddies gave me the moniker. A wheelman? You mean you robbed banks and drove the getaway car? Wow. Interesting. Amanda says, hi, hair metal, welcome. Linda says, hate to disagree, Walter. Bill says, Jake, where did you hear they were looking for a weapon? Well, I know that in Ukraine, some nuclear warheads vanished, came up missing, and then a little bit later on, there was some intel that suggested that they were headed to America. So they tracked and they found them in England, and then they lost them in England. They vanished. So nobody knows where they are. They think that they are over here in America, and they think that something big is planned for the inauguration or something like that. So all these drones are going around searching for gamma radiation because that's what the guy who built those drones say they can do. And if you go on X, you can find him, and he's telling everybody what he thinks based on his working with the America's military drones. He's the guy that designs them. And also, Trump has mentioned a few things, and you got to put two and two together. Nobody's actually held a press conference or came right out and said it, but that's basically what's going on. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. But one thing that isn't my opinion is that it's not aliens. That's a fact. Walter says, what did you drive, Hair? Hair metal, what are you driving? Walter says, what did you drive, Hair? And Hair metal says, I got some $1 t-shirts from Walmart. That's cool. Walter says, Hart, what did you drive, Hart? Yeah, what was the car you were driving, Wheelman? Wheelman, as in I drove around all my degenerate friends. Oh, so you were a taxi cab. Got it. Not a wheelman. A wheelman drives the getaway car. I'm just kidding. Bill says, wow, I didn't know Ukraine had a nuke. Thought it was China. Well, it's not that Ukraine had a nuke. They were in Ukraine. They were Russia's nukes. Bill Bennett says, I drove a VW Bug. Are those cool? I've always wanted to drive one of those. I've never gotten the chance. Patty says, President Trump said if they were in a garage dirty, they would find them. My word is in parentheses. Right. If they were dirty bombs, they would find them. Whipmaster says, they called jokes, LOL. You had to been there. I understand. I was just teasing you, man. Bill says, I ain't never drove one either. Yeah, I've always wanted to drive one. I've never been in when I was a little baby, my mom owned a Volkswagen, and I vaguely remember it. But I've never been in one as an adult, so I don't know what they're like. But it seems like they'd be fun. Whipmaster says, Dodge Ram 1500 Thunder Road. Nice. Heck yeah, they're fun, says Patty. I bet it's like driving a go-kart, isn't it? Or a dune buggy. Patty says it's a booty bug. Nice. They drove, but not very quick, huh? Says Walter. And Linda says, my brother had a VW. The seat fell straight through the floor. Wow. Bill says the VW dune buggies are awesome. I bet. Yeah, it's like driving a go-kart, says Patty. Yeah. I've had some little cars. Like I had the Chevrolet Chevette. Remember that car? Like a Yugo, but made by Chevrolet. And that was a very tiny car. I've also ridden in a Ford Fiesta, which is about the same thing, like a little pregnant shoebox. What it is, she said booty. That's right, what it is. What's happening, buddy? Amanda says, pregnant roller skate. That's right. Patty says, raised in Carnegie. I don't know where that is. Raised in a Carnegie. I don't know what that is. Carnegie. Magia. I don't know. Anyway, Bill says, rear-wheel drive, 4-cylinder. Right on. Amanda says, hi, what it is? And Patty says, VW. Got it. Carnegie. It's a VW car. Got it. It's Italian, says Bill. Right. Well, I'm trying to think if I've ever owned an Italian car before. Kind of. I've owned a Opel before. 2 of them, actually. One was a Morris Minor, and the other one was a Cadillac CE, made in the Opel factory. Bill Bennett says, maybe German. Right on. It's probably German. Whipmaster says, what about the orbs, Mr. Jake? I know the drones are military, but the orbs ain't. I don't know about any orbs. Patty says, a lot of fun, right? What it is says, the Chevette had an engine. It was iron, and they called it the Iron Duke. Well, it was a tough car, I'll give you that. But it was a tiny car. Now, I'm not talking about a Chevelle. I'm talking about a Chevette. Just to be clear. Linda Davis says, Carmangia was what we drove the summer I was in Sicily. Oh, nice. I've never been to Sicily. What it is says, hello. Hello. Merry Christmas. Are you ready? 6 days. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. You were sick, Opel says what it is. Well, they weren't very good cars, I can tell you that. Whipmaster says, look up the orbs that form a triangle pattern. I've seen them here in Hawkinsville, and it was supernatural. Well, I can't speak to that one way or the other. All I can speak to is what I've seen with my own eyes. And what I've seen with my own eyes is most definitely man-made. Patty says, oh, yeah. That's the drones, Whip, says Amanda. There are lots of things flying around in the skies currently. They're looking for nuclear warheads. And I hope they fly over North Carolina because we lost one here, and it's still here somewhere. Bill says, those are aliens or angels. Okay. What Ezekiel saw was angels. What we're seeing is military drones. Amanda says, watch the Olympics opening ceremony with the drones. That's the 2024 Olympics opening, the Chinese drone exhibit. That will tell you all you need to know about what you're seeing in the skies. 2024 Olympics opening. Check it out. Whipmaster says, these things were balls of light. I've seen them over a year ago. All right. What it is taking little white pills and my eyes are open wide. That's right. Passing little white lines and my eyes are open wide. Passing little white lines and my eyes are open wide. Don't see a gurney in sight. That's all right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home. And that's a good song. Why did that song go away? That's a great song. Patty says Tennessee hunters are ready. Is that right on? There's a lot of Georgia hunters ready too. I can't say that we're not going to get visited by something, Whip, but I don't think it's aliens. And if it is the other thing, nothing's going to stop that from happening. And Whip says, I was sober as a judge. Honest, Injun. Honest, Injun. I hadn't heard that expression in a while. Taking little white pills and my eyes are open wide. That must be the original version. I'm thinking of the Sawyer Brown version. Bill Bennett says, Indiana is ready with you all. We team up. Amen. Well, one thing's for certain. If they come, everybody's going to see it. It ain't going to be a surprise. Patty says, Red Sovine. I didn't even know he did that song. I thought it was like Mickey Gilley or somebody like that. What it is they call it a shotgun to take care of those drones. Unfortunately, if they're military, you can expect a visit from the FBI shortly after you shoot one of their drones down. Whipmaster says, I don't believe it was aliens. I believe it was spiritual apparitions, and that is entirely possible. Like I said, I didn't see what you saw, but I do believe in that sort of thing, and I do believe they travel in that sort of way. But I don't think that's what's happening over New Jersey. Just based on what I've seen in the news. Patty says, truck driving songs are the best. Yes, they are. What it is says, good mushrooms, right on. And Bill says, definitely angels. Well, like I said, if it's angels, everybody's going to see it. I promise. Because when they come, they're coming in force. And they're coming for a reason. And they will come. I don't know when, but they will come. And when they come, everybody's going to see it. It's not going to be a surprise. And Amanda says, share what it is. Share some of them good mushrooms. And Whipmaster says, it's freaking me out, man. I had to grab my sword, a.k.a. the scriptures. Well, read ahead on. You can't go wrong reading the scriptures. Even if you're looking at them for the wrong reasons, you'll get the right answers out of it. Patty says, yes, share some of them mushrooms. Yeah, well, I hadn't got the community ready to share yet for some reason. Linda says, heck, I've lived a long time in New Jersey. I don't know what they would want there. Well, it's proximity. New Jersey is close to Washington, D.C. by way of a few passages. And it's also, isn't Bedminster in New Jersey? Well, Donald Trump owns a house in Bedminster, so it could be that too. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've seen on the news. Looks like drones. And if you watch the 2024 Chinese Olympics opening, you will see what I'm talking about. They have the technology. They have had for a while. We do not possess that technology. Amanda says, LOL, Patty. Walter Davis says, my mother just went to bed. She has been trying to make a Christmas shopping list. She doesn't remember who her grandchildren are. It's kind of a mess. Aw. Well, why don't you just write the list for her? Because you know who the grandkids are, right? And what it is says it's something to put in people's minds to instill fear. Now you're getting it. That may be what this whole nuclear weapon thing is all about in the first place. A fear tactic thing. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've heard. But it sounds to me like fear porn. And it might be that. Always be cautious of what you hear, especially nowadays, and knowing what you know about the media and learning how in step they are with certain organizations. Always be cautious of what you hear and put it to the test of logic before you go believing it or going down rabbit holes. Always understand one thing. If the news is talking about it, they're talking about it for a reason. It's not nebulous. It's not an accident. It isn't just what happened, because there's lots of things that happen the news don't talk about every day. If they're talking about it, there's a reason they're talking about it. Why do you need to know about it? Ask that question first. Second, ask what would it be in an interest to them for you to know about it. The second thing is what good would come of you knowing it? And on and on and on. Think like that. That'll help you a lot better. Yep. Whipmaster says the drones are scanning the skies for gamma radiation signatures. Absolutely. Now, that in itself might be a fear tactic. I don't know. But whatever it is It is definitely happening. Too many people have seen it. So I guess it's up to interpretation largely. And second, we have to wait to find out what comes out about it. So we'll see. I guess if it's what they're saying it is and they find it, we'll never know. Nobody will ever, it'll just go away. If they don't find it and it's what they think it is, we'll know about it because bang. And, you know, if it's something else, we may never know. Amanda says, oh, Walter, that's sweet and sad. Prayers for her. Bill says they came and made Jesus and giants, and I can't remember. The other ones, right? What, the aliens? I hear you. Patty says, Walter, we are all in kind of a mess. Amen to that. Whipmaster says the orbs are what they are chasing but can't catch. Interesting. Walter Davis says Trump's golf course is beautiful. I used to party there when it was the DeLorean estate. I did not know that he bought the DeLorean estate. That's kind of cool. Patty says, dang, I'm right. Fear porn, Lamau, says Bill Bennett. That's what I think it is, but I don't know. Patty says there is no more giants. True. Whipmaster says, don't be deceived. I won't be. Don't worry. Linda Davis says, Walter, I'm pretty sure she doesn't remember ours because we keep bringing new ones home. What it is says, I have fear of the rapture put in my head as a child. It was not a good experience. Well, thank God that's not biblical, what it is. And thank you for listening to this channel where you learned that piece of information, hopefully. There is not going to be a rapture. And I feel your pain on that because I suffered that very same fate. I was raised Pentecostal holiness. That's the church where they yell and scream and run up and down the aisle speaking in tongues and whatnot, one step away from handling rattlesnakes. Yeah. So I understand. But if you read the Bible, that's not in there. Nowhere. Amanda says, believe none of what you hear and some of what you see. Walter Davis says 90% of the drone stings are airplanes. Most people don't look up and see them. Interesting. 90% of the drone sightings are airplanes. Got it. Bill says, my little brother, God rest his soul, drank himself to death at 33. He gave me and my woman Iron Man 3 before he released it, and was fat people porn, LOL, burnt in my mind. Iron Man 3, before it was released, it was a bootleg Iron Man, but it had fat people porn on it instead of Iron Man. Got it. Patty says, wow. Whipmaster says, the orbs move in supernatural ways, Mr. Jake. It was unnerving. Me and my uncle seen them, and it was broad daylight last summer. Well, how did you see glowing orbs in broad daylight? Just curious. Patty says, wow, again. Wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Walter Davis says, it's very cool that Trump bought it and built the golf course. It would have been developed into 1 million townhouses and ruined the area. Well, that is cool. Yep. Patty says, I'm going to retract the message here just to screw with Jake. And Linda Davis says, I understand that too, Whip. Right on. Yeah, there are some things in the skies that just are not explainable. And I have no problem with that. I don't think it's aliens, but I don't have a problem with things that are beyond our understanding existing. And I do know there are some of those things. I haven't personally seen anything like that, but I don't discount people who have seen it because there have people see all kinds of things. Bill Bennett says, you don't think there's a rapture where the hell did that come from then? It came from 1892 or something like that, from an insane asylum in the room of one Mary McDonald. Look her up. There's a documentary about Mary McDonald, and she was a paranoid delusional schizophrenic. And she was having an episode, and there were two priests on hand that night. And what she was saying, they wrote down. And the priests thought to themselves, this is a demonic possession, but they published anyway because it was interesting. And from that came the rapture doctrine, which only started after the 1800s. That was not anywhere before that. And so Mary McDonald, you can look up that name and find out who she was. Look for the one in the 1800s and look for the one in the insane asylum, and you'll be Bob's your uncle. That's the one. And that's where the rapture doctrine came from. It is not biblical. It is not in the Bible anywhere. I hope that helps. Whipmaster says, not the rattlesnakes, preachers. Oh, yeah, one step away from them. I'm telling you, that's the kind of church I was raised in. What it is I was brought up Foursquare Baptist. Right on. What do you know about chakras? Well, I know where they are. I know a few things, what it is. I've studied mysticism, and I've studied the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas, and I've studied many other documents. Whipmaster says, ooh. Definitely ain't aliens. Nowhere in Scripture does it mention little green guys that were coming to probe our rear ends or nothing. Right on. Walter says they were Baptist preachers. Metaphysics says what it is. I've studied metaphysics. I've studied theosophy, theology. I've studied the occult. I've studied all manner of different religions. I've been in this for a very long time. I am a man of letters, and I've spent a great deal of my time in secret societies and in secret rooms reading documents that nobody's supposed to ever see and things like that. There's a lot of things I don't talk about. There's a lot of things I can't talk about. And what I can, I try to weave into the natural things that I do talk about because they all converge together in the past. It's very simple. If you can stand back far enough, you can see how they all connect up. Patty says, my earbuds just paid down. That's my sign. I had a great night, and I hope everyone has a good night, and I will see y'all next time. Peace, bows, and white power. Patty, thank you for being here. God bless you. We love you. If I don't talk to you before then, Merry Christmas, but I'll see you Friday. Have a great night. Amy Elizabeth says, I forgot you were on. I'm on 5 nights a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. It's hard to forget. But I'm with you. I'm glad you're here. What it is says, this right here is a cult. The definition of the cult that I like is a gathering of people just like a pack of dogs, a herd of cows, or a flock of birds. Well, I understand that definition of the word cult. I didn't say cult, I said occult. And I guess you could say this is a cult of personality because you're following a personality. But it is not a cult because I don't want to sleep with your wife, for starters. And I haven't demanded anybody wear any particular sneakers. So, it's not that. But it's close. It is that kind of thing for sure. But I did say occult, the study of the abnormal things. Quantum physics, I've even studied a little of that. M theory, string theory, spooky entanglement, all of that. Yeah, I've been down that road. Amanda says, good night, Patty. And Amanda says, hi, Amy. How can you forget about us? LOL. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 5 nights a week. Whew. Exhausting. It's hard to say, let alone do. Man, it's a Saturday, right? What it is says, I know the difference of occult and cult. Well, there you go. But you're not wrong. I understand what you're saying. The main thing is that we gather for God. That's the main thing. Everything else is secondary. I'm happy to be here to entertain, but the real reason I do this is for Sunday and Monday. Amy says, I used to watch Quantum Leap. Does that count? Yes, it does. Scott Bakula is like half the grade. What it says, what do you know about the true Aramaic beliefs or the meanings of the words that have been lost over time? Are you talking about Gnosticism? Because I do know a little bit about that. As far as words that have lost meaning over time, there are languages that are dead, if that's what you're referring to, such as the Voynich manuscript or Aramaic, the language, which is a dead language. Nobody knows exactly what it's supposed to sound like because nobody's ever heard it spoken before. But they are aware it exists. There are some languages that they aren't even sure if they're languages, such as the Moi Moi language over in Easter Island. They're not really sure that's a language. It might just be like a, somebody decorating the walls or something, but it could actually be a language. And if it is, they don't have a clue how to decipher it. Hell, I'm human, is what it is. Me too, barely, but I am. Being human's a good thing, I think. Might be a bad thing, but we're going to do it anyway. Right or wrong, we're going to be human. Amy says, grunting farts. Nice. My favorite language. Have you heard Ned Nostril in the South Seas Paradise Put Your Blues on Ice Cheap at Twice the Price band song? Because if not, you need to hear that. It's Ray Stevens, Ned Nostrils. Go look it up now. You'll thank me later. Amanda says, all yummy peppermint. Get that out of your mouth. You don't know where that thing's been. That's a funny song, says Amanda. It is. And has a bunch of grunts and farts in it. You're welcome. Ned Nostrils. And while you're doing that, look up Eric the Awful. And Fred, he was a good dog. Oh, yeah, Fred, he was a good dog. But he never knew when to chase him and when to turn around and run. Oh, yeah, Fred, he was a good dog. Now he's flat out on the freeway and drying in the sun. Fred was a dog I used to own. He used to answer the telephone, and every now and then he'd drive my truck into town for groceries. That's a good song. Check it out. What it is says, the words in the Bible. What is your stance on the meanings of the words in the Bible that have been downgraded or interpreted the wrong way? Well, I try not to read those versions of the Bible. What it is, I read the King James Version, which there is a minimal amount of that happening in that version. How do I know that? Because you can trace it back to its inception at Antioch, and you can get copies of the original Green's Interlinear, which is the codex from which it is translated, so you can check it yourself. And there's very few of those errors, and when I reach those errors, when I study and teach the Bible, I point them out and say, this is what this word actually means, and I do that often. And also, the original King James Version, the 1611, had a note postscript in the front of the book that said, we did the best we could, but we make mistakes, so check it yourself. And here's some tools that'll help you check it yourself, such as the concordance, or the Strong's Concordance from 1611, which I have a copy of right over there. Now, you take those two things and you go back and you study the Aramaic and the Greek, depending on what you're reading, or the Chaldee, which is a very small portion of the Bible, and you can check the words and their meanings from their actual meanings from that time, and then you can see where the errors are and fix it. But I would have urged you to stay away from other translations of the Bible. The King James is the one. It had 50 translators, all given a piece to translate. And when they did it and were finished, that piece was then handed to the next person, and it went all the way through them 50 times. It is the best translation in existence. There is no better. So I hope that answers your question. I try very hard to stay away from downgraded or misinterpreted words the wrong way. When I teach what God intended you to read. Book, chapter, verse, explanation, understanding. And how do I know I'm right about that? Well, because I didn't just pick it up and start teaching it. I've been studying it hard for about 40 years, hard as I can go. And I don't just mean it. I mean it in all of its inflections and in every direction leading towards it from other places. I'm pretty sure I got a good handle on it. Does that make me anything special? No, it does not. It just means I've done the work. You don't have to. Just take my word for it, or don't. Check me. See if I'm wrong. This is a learning experience for everybody, including you, including me. I learn every time I teach. So sometimes I go back and watch the study just to see what I said, because I don't even know half the time. And there's a certain amount of grace involved. It ain't all me, you know. I wouldn't even say it's half me. It's a little me. Mostly it's the Lord. And I pray every time to make sure that I make the right decisions and say the right things. And hopefully I do. I don't know. But that's why I tell you, and I tell you often, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to me. I'm a man. I make mistakes. Listen to God. Let me read it to you, sure, but go check it for yourself. Damn, does your head hurt from all that knowledge and studying? Yes. And many sleepless nights and lots of ulcers and other things from knowing things people aren't supposed to know. There are things you're not supposed to know. And I know some of them. And it's quite a mouthful. You're absolutely right. I know that was sarcasm, but I'm not being sarcastic. Amanda says he never shuts down what it is. His brain is going even when he's asleep. This is true. I wake myself up all the time working through problems. Checkmate, Jake. How? In what way? It must have been a good move. I didn't even see it happen. Amanda says he will say something in his sleep, and I'll be like, you're going to have to explain that, LOL. True. Well, more times than not, I will go to sleep with a question and wake up with an answer. And the reason that happens is because everybody's subconscious mind works independent of their conscious mind. So even when you're asleep, your subconscious mind is wrestling with things that you've thought about throughout the day or, you know, anything like that. And some people, if you do it enough, you can get accustomed to it and actually use it. Most people aren't aware of their subconscious mind, but some people are. And when you get to that point where you can actually use your subconscious mind, you can pose a question, fall asleep, and wake up with the answer, because that is a supercomputer that records everything, and it's aware of stuff and connections to things that you're not aware of consciously. So it's a wonderful thing that God put in us, that subconscious mind, and I encourage you all to exercise using it. However, beware, because knowledge is dangerous. Ignorance is bliss. Truthfully, I tell you of a true thing. It is better to not know and live your life happy and blissfully unaware of what's going on around you. Because if you know, the first thing it's going to do is shake your faith, because you can't see the whole picture, but you know a little more than the average person, so you think you know something, and it's scary. You got to muscle through that part. And then you get to the other side of that where you know a little bit more than you did before, which is way more than the average person knows. Then you begin to see, oh, no, this is a good thing. Like the whole thing about God creating evil. If you really, really dive into that and think about it, that's terrifying. It's terrifying. And why? Why would God do such a thing? That's the question that sticks most people right there. They get stuck on why. But the answer is simple. If you can see it. Because. That's the answer. Because light has no value without darkness. If you can really wrap your head around that, then you can see beyond what's shaking your faith. And then you can begin to go back towards God, which may take a while if you don't go crazy first. Have you ever thought about putting cigarettes down? Every time I put one out, sure enough. Free will, that's right, Whipmaster. Absolutely right. Free will is why God created evil. Who is worthy of the team? Which team? This team? You are. Everybody here is. I'm not sure what you're asking. Who is worthy of the team? Everybody's worthy. That's the whole reason we do it. Bill Bennett says, free will God. Amen. Free Willy, says Amy Elizabeth. Aha. Well, how do you know it isn't free? Might be laying on my chair right now. You never know. Oh, you're talking about a movie. I see. My bad. Have I ever thought about putting cigarettes down? Yes, sir. Yes, I have. I've even done it a couple times. And then I start smoking again. Do you know why? Because I'm a human being and I have a need for satiation, and that satisfies that need. Is it a good thing? No, I don't recommend it. Whipmaster says, my Willie ain't free. Psych. Amanda says, LOL, put that thing away, Jake. Right? I'll never smoke weed with Willie again. In the fetal position with drool on my chin. I'll never smoke weed with Willie again. Good song, Amy. What it is says are kind of like the men in black that you see a whole different underground. Kinda, yeah. Once you start seeing things. Here's the real kicker. Everything, and let me preface this thought. I have not figured out a way to illustrate this properly. You're going to have to take my word for it, or don't believe me, think I'm full of shit, whatever. One day I'll figure it out. I'll get it to where I can articulate it properly, and I'll write a book. And when I do, I'll put it out. And the title of that book will be The Thesis of the Thought, which is everything is bullshit. All of it. The more you look, the worse it gets. And I do mean everything. All your religions, all your beliefs, all your thoughts, everything you've been told since you were a child, all of the rules you follow every day, the government, everything is bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all made up. When I figure out how to articulate that in a way that I can make it make sense to what I see in my head, I will do so immediately. Amy says, Walter, math needs to grow up and solve its own problems. Amen. What it is our world here on earth, right? There's clearly, very clearly, separate worlds at play here. There's the world we live in, and then there's the world outside of the world we live in, the one that the elites live in, and that is not the same world that we live in. They play by different rules. They have different rules. They have a different master. They have different everything, right? They don't send their kids to schools that use computers. I'm talking about the people that own Facebook. Their children go to paper-only schools. Think about that for a minute. And then there's the world outside of them that they answer to. And that's the world where the devil plays. And he's pulling the strings and there's powers and principalities and rulers over the air and things like that going on outside of our purview. We don't get to see that world. But then there's the world outside of that. And as far as I know, that's the world that God created, the one outside of all of these things. And we have not witnessed that one yet. Willie remembered when dime bags costed a dime, dagummit. Right on. How much are they now? Like $30, $25, something like that? Amanda says, LOL, Whipmaster. Stepping what? Bullshit. All of it's bullshit. Yes. And at first glance, you might think I'm wrong about that, but give it some thought. I promise you'll see it. Amanda says it's $10 a gram now. Oh. How many grams is in a dime bag? 1/10 of a gram? Is that why they call it a dime bag? 3 fingers quarter bag. Whip. 3 finger quarter bags. 1 gram. Got it. I don't know anything about it. I don't buy marijuana. Don't know a thing about it. By the way, it's 10:30 almost. I got to go to bed. I didn't realize it got so late. Where did you learn that, young lady? Drug school? Says Whipmaster. Probably. The school of hard knocks. The streets, baby. She got agony of defeat from being indiscreet. You know what I'm saying? All right. Any questions, criticisms, catharses, catalogs? You tell me what you want to hear, and I'll tell you how it is. Other than that, I got to go to bed. So I got to get up early in the morning, move a refrigerator, and then go to work. After I unload a truck, then go to work. Move a refrigerator, unload a truck, go to work. In that order. Probably should get dressed somewhere in there. Linda Davis says, thank you, Untethered Live family, for being there for me and making these lonely nights less lonely. I appreciate and I love you all. God bless you and good night. I hope you don't feel so lonely, Linda. We love you and we're thinking about you. Merry Christmas. Come see us Friday. Linda says, thank you, Jake. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you. Whip says, y'all ought to know Jesus is watching y'all, shaking his head. Stop burning it all. It's medicine, right? Well, it's definitely here for a reason. I'll give you that. Not necessarily the reason everybody uses it for, but hemp is actually quite an awesome plant. It's almost alien. It does a lot of things very well. What it is I've seen shit. There is a dark side to this life, and I had a peek of it. It's not good. This is true. There's a dark side, and there's a light side, and there's an indifferent side. That's the really scary place to be. That's where most atheists find themselves, indifferent. They don't belong to anybody. Think about that. Whipmaster says, love y'all, man. Whipmaster, thank you for being here. God bless you. We miss you around here. Come back and see us Friday. All right. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great night. If I don't see you before then, Merry Christmas. But I will Friday. I'll be here. Have a good one. I'll see you then. Thank you for watching.